So everyone always talks about how, anime live action, it can't be done, it shouldn't be done, things just don't translate into live action film very well, yada yada yada, right? Well, in light of the fact that we are getting a My Hero Academia live action coming very soon, I figured why not compare it to a live action film that's already been done before, that is very similar to the premise of My Hero Academia, and that is the movie known as Sky High. Now, for those of you that don't know, Sky High came out a very long time ago, way before My Hero Academia, and the premise of Sky High is so similar to the premise of My Hero Academia. It's laughable, to be honest. I'm sure there's been memes about it, and comparing the two, but no one really ever talks about the fact that, well, Sky High is a live action movie. People want to say, well, anime live action can't be done, but I mean, a film like Sky High exists, and it existed before My Hero Academia ever existed. So it's just kind of like, why would people not think that My Hero could be translated into film when, it's more than likely inspired by a film? But yeah, story of Sky High is that there's this school of, kids with superpowers, and the main character, Will, is like the only guy that doesn't have superpowers. Wow, where have I heard this one before? But yeah, other than that, though, it kind of differentiates from My Hero, and it's more about, just high school and romance and, the prom dance, stuff like that, right? And it kind of takes itself in that sense of like being just a high school movie, right? Whereas My Hero, I think, tackles a lot more serious issues and being just the whole hero thing in a more serious manner. But I also would argue that My Hero isn't that serious, and I feel like there are a lot of elements in Sky High that I feel like honestly you can kind of see in both Sky High and My Hero. For example, I feel like Sky High is one of those movies that is just a classic Disney Channel movie. Pretty campy. Obviously, it was, one of the movies that came out when I was a kid, so I have nostalgia for it, but it's a movie that I think, I say classic Disney Channel in the sense of it has a way that it handles the goofiness of powers and superhero, but being done in a live action setting, and it does it well. It works. Now obviously the CG at the time was nothing spectacular, and it'll definitely be interesting to see what we can do now with CG, the advancements of technology within filmmaking for the My Hero adaptation. But I just feel like Sky High definitely has a lot of things where it just kind of does cheesy, goofy moments with its in its story. I feel like some of that honestly is apparent in My Hero, but you might just not really see it right away, right? I feel like the whole All Might blowing up, and then when he gets skinny, it's he's a freaking balloon, he just kind of pops and then all the air comes out and he just becomes this skinny figure, right? I feel like stuff like that, I feel like Sky High was already trying to do certain things like that, where you have the guy, the stretching arms and stuff, and the guy running and just certain things where I feel like the tone of Sky High, you can already see a translation, you can already see a connection there with some of the moments in My Hero that don't take itself too seriously, right? Some of the more lighthearted moments. I really don't think the My Hero movie will be that bad. Also, the director is the same director that did the Alice in Borderland series on Netflix, which I still have yet to see, sadly, but I've heard many good things about. So I do think that at the very least, we've got some good hands on the team here. It does still come down to a decent script, decent actors, there's so many factors that go into it. But yeah, Sky High, it's it's interesting going back and, kind of rewatching it. Like, man, the CG really was, not not that great. But it's still just cool, like just the idea of the film and the tone and just a lot of things in the movie do kind of work. And I mean, I guess, you could call me a little biased because any movie with Mary Elizabeth Winstead is, gonna make me have some kind of enjoyment of it because I love her. But still, I feel like the My Hero movie can do some of those like goofy, cheesy things in its film, because even though it is a lot more serious than Sky High, I don't think it's that much more serious, to be honest. Like, I feel like, it doesn't have to be necessarily like a direct retelling of the anime. I think honestly, if it was just like a nice little, little like high school movie, like it would be fine. Like, honestly, I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't think the My Hero movie has to be like, okay, like they're gonna do, the first arc of the anime and then, I don't want it to feel like they have to adapt the manga page for page and then get caught in this like, okay, well, because I mean, let's face it, the manga hasn't even ended, right? So it's like if they only do one movie, they don't really have like a good place to start and finish it because of the way the story is told. Then it might kind of suffer the same issue that Battle Angel Alita did, where it just kind of leaves off on a note of like, okay, we're expecting a sequel, but we may never get one. You know what I mean? And even though I really do hope Alita does get a sequel, I'm more of a fan of having good standalone movies. I think My Hero can definitely just kind of be a good standalone movie. Obviously, I would want it to follow the manga as much as possible, but I do think that like the essence of My Hero is kind of more just in the sense of, the class, right? Like, I feel like that's what the story really does try to drive into you. At least, the anime. I can't say much for the manga because I've only seen the anime, but it does feel like, a lot of focus and a lot of screen time is on the class itself, class 1A, right? And I feel like if they're gonna make a movie about it, they really should just kind of try to make a focused, more grounded story on just that. I think if we're, trying to look at examples, like Sky High isn't really a bad example. Even though the movie is old, outdated in a lot of respects, I think, it's not a terribly bad film because of the vast amount of similarities in the premise. I think honestly we can expect to see a pretty decent movie with this upcoming My Hero live action project. But that is just my opinion. That is my hopes. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.